Welcome to Fulci Metal Jacket, where we cover the kinds of films that lurk and loiter just beyond the mainstream. Today's film may appear at face value to be a rip-off of The Running Man, but it actually predates the Arnold Schwarzenegger vehicle by a whole 3 years, believe it or not. So, Warriors of the Year 2072, aka Rome 2072 AD, the new Gladiators, comes to us from 1984. This one is directed by Lucio Fulci, who's more well known for Italian horror epics like Zombie, The Beyond, and City of the Living Dead. The premise of this one is eerily familiar to some of you, or any of you who've seen The Running Man, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. So we're in a dystopian future where violent reality television reigns supreme. 7 Seas Television, broadcasting out of Atlantic City, New Jersey, has the #1 rated program on television, which is a program called Kill Bike, where competitors ride dirt bikes like chariots and try to knock each other off with all manner of medieval-style weapons. Now, the reigning Kill Bike champion at the moment is a guy called Drake, and I did get a little confused by 7 Seas as a kid, because I'm pretty sure the home video release of the new Gladiators was released by 7 Keys Video here in Australia. But I digress. Rival network WBS, based in Rome, are jealous of 7 Seas ratings, as you would be. And the best programming they have to offer is called The Danger Game, which is a kind of like a version of Fear Factor with Joe Rogan, but more tasteful. I mean, at least The Danger Game doesn't demand that contestants consume bodily fluids from a donkey, so that's a good start. And this network conceives a Kill Bike rip-off, as networks do, called Battle of the Damned, to be held in the old Colosseum in Rome. That's the historic site in Rome, that is, not the old WWF Colosseum video from the 90s. It's easy to confuse the two. Now, the contestants are not only a who's who of death row inmates, but they're also a who's who of amazing early 80s exploitation actors. So there's Cliver, Fred Williamson, and Al Yamanuchi. So their job is to fight to the death in the new Gladiator games. But real star power is needed, and it's time to set Kill Bike champion and all-round nice guy Drake up for a crime he didn't commit, of course, which is the murder of 3 guys who kill his wife, and I don't quite get that one. But anyway, now, if all of that sounds a bit familiar, that's because it is, because the Running Man movie does rip off a heap of plot points and elements from this Lucio Fulci film, which really is quite unique in the annals of early 80s Italian exploitation cinema. Usually it's the other way around. It really was the convention for Italian genre cinema of the early 80s to draw heavily on established Hollywood hits for their stories. So it really is quite unique and unusual to see an example such as this, where it was the Italians that came up with the original and innovative concept and Hollywood copied it. Quite shamelessly, I might add. At least this was the case in the early 80s. Nowadays, Hollywood's doing it quite a bit as well, whether it's adapting foreign films in above-board reimaginings or simply ripping things off enough not to get sued by the original Europeans that came up with the ideas. All's fair in love and war, I guess. Now, this movie was quite a departure for director Lucio Fulci, to say the least, and it was polarising for fans as well. I mean, a lot of people found the pace really slow and lethargic, and they described the new Gladiators as a bit boring. I think that's a little unfair myself. I mean, at times it's a little incoherent, I guess, but I don't know that I'd describe the new Gladiators as boring, to say the least. I mean, there's enough to hold up your interest here and so that you'll have a good time. The cinematography has this cool, murky, dreamy, misty look to it that I still don't know whether is intentional or not. They might have left the film reels out in the sun accidentally. But even still, it was pretty effective, especially on low-def home video back in the 80s, on 7 Keys Video. And there's some cool miniatures, there's a great synth score, and it's great to see some familiar post-apocalyptic alumni that you'll definitely recognise. There's Fred Williamson from Warriors of the Wasteland, there's Cliver from Endgame and 2020 Texas Gladiators, and lastly we have Al Yamanuchi from After the Fall of New York, the infamous Rat King. So this one's worth a watch purely to see Lucio Fulci take a stab at science fiction. It's a bit like how entertaining it'd be if you watched Quentin Tarantino have a crack at Star Trek, which they also talked about for some time. Now, I guess there might be some solid arguments for this one being a bit boring or a bit of a mess, but the curiosity value outweighs most, if not all, of the shortcomings as far as I'm concerned. And it is a must-see for anyone who's a fan of The Running Man. There's a fair bit of social commentary about reality TV, of course, and in that regard, the new Gladiators was a decade or two ahead of its time. Now, I reckon the new Gladiators would make a great double bill with Joe D'Amato's Endgame. So Endgame's another post-apocalyptic game show scenario that was popular in the early 80s. And I think if you're after something nice to enjoy with the new Gladiators, a cheap supermarket frozen spaghetti and meatballs washed down with an energy drink might do the trick. If you are snacking while watching this one, because let's face it, everything we eat in the future is going to be processed poison. And I guess one more thing, there's a particular whistling scene that you'll have trouble forgetting once you see it, and if you know, you know. It goes something like this. And I won't give up my day job and start a whistling career because that was dreadful, but nevertheless, I'll pop the trailer in the description, and I'll pop in where you can see this one, any Easter eggs that I might find on the new Gladiators that seem interesting. They'll all be in the description. And if you are still here at this point and you're enjoying the content, please like, share and subscribe. And if you'd like to see extended content, don't forget our compilation videos called The Lobby Card, which are a collective of a few of these videos at a time. Just something new I'm trying. Otherwise, please like, share and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time in this dystopian future of 2025.